Tom Mute Maniac here, and today we're going to talk about the Link heroes. Yes, this is going to be a very exciting conversation. This is definitely for the new players. I'm not exactly an expert, but I'm like a C+ student in the King God Castle arena. And with that being said, I'm going to talk about the Link heroes. I think some people might get confused as to what to do with them. And occasionally I do see questions on the Reddit about which Link heroes to use, etc. I'm sort of building content geared towards answering questions that I see on Reddit so that I could just fire the video away. So there are three currently. There is Luniare, who looks like this. Unless you do the beach event, and then she looks like this. Unless you bought the premium skin, and then she looks like this. And I kind of wish I got this one. This is cool. I'm not spending no money on that. Anyway, so what Luniare does, what makes Luniare unique, she concentrates for 5 seconds. She grants protection once, which is kind of like okay. I wish this was a per second effect like Mano, but she grants protection to the Link target, and she gives 90% of her stats, attack and spell power, converted into the target hero's base stats. So there is a video that I created in a new series called Stat Stacking. Base stats is very powerful because the game is all about multiplying base stats. So if you have yourself a Mel, right, and I'll do an easier hero. Let's do a Hanzi. So Hanzi does 47 damage times 2, right? And if I give Hanzi a sword, that gives him... swords are going to give him 120% on top of this. It's going to go on top of that. Everything's going to be multiplied from this. And even when you tier Hanzi up, it's actually a plus 60% on all your stats. Not most of the stats. I think attack speed might be different, but specifically plus 60%. So if I go tier 2, it's going to go 60% higher. Tier 3, 60% higher. Tier 4, 60% higher. And all of those numbers, all of that math is going to be multiplication of the base stat. So making the base stat higher, there's only 2 ways to do it. 1, leveling your hero up. That's why it's so powerful. And 2, Link heroes. So that's what makes these guys so good. And that's why in every tier list that you see on YouTube, best one that I see is King Noobs. These are always S tier because they are doing base stats. They are increasing bottom numbers. Okay, so Luniare. She is giving her 89 attack and spell power into the base stat. So that's the first thing that she does, and that's what makes her really strong. Okay. Also, if you're able to make her stats higher, that pumps into the base stat of who you're boosting. That's massive. Okay. So the next thing that makes Luniare situationally better, in some cases, is that Luniare is the only Link hero that you can put multiple of them on. And all it does is it takes 50% of the efficiency when applied to the same hero. So the first Luniare will be plus 90% of 89, so 80 roughly. The second Luniare will give an additional 40, but they're all giving to the base stat. There are Strife builds where you take a Saras, excuse me, I don't know how to pronounce shit. I'm an American educated individual, okay? I'm a math guy too. I don't do words. Words are for word people. But you basically put a Saris in the middle, and then you put like 5 or 6 Luniares around the Saris. And now that Saris's base is nuts, okay? You'll see that with burst damage guys as well. Like if you have a Victoria burst damage, you might see like 5 or 6 Lunaires in a grid pattern in the middle, and it forces Victoria to run along the side and up, and her base stats are all being pumped by Lunaire. So Lunaire is a stacking, super crazy thing. There's some other stuff that Lunaire does. So her 2 awakenings, if she is in front or above the hero in battle, she will insta-cast her stuff. She also gives 20% movement speed to the target, which is really good for characters like Victoria and other melee carries that need to go from place to place. So movement speed's pretty solid. Victoria benefits the most from this, as per my C+ level of knowledge of King God Castle. So that's huge. The alternative thing you could do, which I don't think many people do, PvP maybe, no longer grants protection, but instead gives 2 mighty blocks. So maybe you do 12 Lunaires all worshipping a Ren, right? And so that would essentially be giving Ren 2, 3, 4, like a ton of mighty blocks, okay? So that might be hysterical. And when the cycle of, when her spell ends and she recasts her spell, she'll give an additional +2 mighty blocks. I don't see this get so much play because this is immediate. This is after she generates her 75 MP, which takes about 5 hits. However, if you throw a wind set on her a little bit, just 2 of them, I don't know why I have 3, ignore this, and maybe other things, super strong. Link heroes benefit greatly from a stat called Guard. So, if you're a broke guy or a free-to-play player, you might see this legacy. This is Winter Lake Totem. And so this gives Guard. So, if you have a little bit of shmoney or luck, then your legacy for this hero would probably be either one of 2 things. You might give her, well, 3 things actually. You can give her big old rusty sword, Big old rusty sword would increase her attack by 51%. Or, and that essentially increases this number, which means when she gives her bonus, she's giving more attack, right? If you give her a rusty sword. Or if you're trying to increase sustain with her, then you might do, if I can please God click on the right thing. Thank you, fingers and brain. You might give her Drum of Advancement. This gives Guard. This increases max HP to everybody around them. And this increases Guard duration. So, what the hell is Guard? Well, let's find out together. Guard increases the defense of an ally besides the user that received beneficial effects such as recovery, protection gain, and stat increase equipped for 5 seconds. The increase value is in proportion to the equipped tier, blah, blah, blah. So, the higher the caster's tier, the more you give to the other things. Even if multiple units influence the effect, only the highest defense increase value will be applied. So Guard and Menace do not stack. TLDR, Guard increases the defense stat of the person receiving a blessing. So, there's the tick. I'll be back. We'll be back there. So basically, if we're going to focus on Guard, then that's going to make your carry and whoever you're linking to have a bit more defense and a bit more sustain. Okay. meaning they could take more abuse because they have a higher defense. I would say that in most cases, Link heroes, the purpose of a Link hero is not going to be for increased sustain. It's going to be for increased boom, the big boom, okay? So your carry is the equivalent of 5 sticks of dynamite. Your Link hero hands your carry a 6th and perhaps 7th stick of dynamite. You want the bigger boom. You want the bigger numbers. You want the bigger, impact. And so most of the time, you're going to either be putting staff, it's really going to be, and this is cool. This is good for the broke jokes like me. I'm a little broke, but it's going to be apprentice staff, or it's going to be rusty sword. Okay. Because you're essentially going to just scale whatever base stat that you want to give your carry. And if you want, what you could do is you could do Ocean Set. Ocean Set is basically an entire set that's built for support class heroes. And that's going to give you the guard, the final guard, and additional defense. Okay, so you could essentially use your legacy to buff this and use your accessories to give the sustain. Because there's no point in putting anything else on here. Maybe Steel Set if you find that your Link heroes are blowing up too fast. So that's Luniare. Luniare stacks for days. And you might think, like, dude, Luniare is freaking fantastic. Why do we even need the other Link heroes? I mean, she gives 90% of attack and spell power. She gives Mighty Block. She increases movement speed. She insta-casts. Like, this is the... we haven't even talked about this. Grants a Mighty Block, period, no matter what. And after the end of the blessing, the buff remains for an additional 2 seconds. Like, why do I even need another Link hero? Like, this is the perfect Link hero. Well, it's situational, right? So, like, this, she is great when it comes to stacking and when it comes to making a hero, typically a normal damage hero, as high stats as possible. So that's going to be that. So let's talk about the next Link hero. And that is going to be Mano. Okay? Mano looks like this. This. If you're lucky, this. If you have this, you don't even need to be watching this video. Or sometimes this. Can I do this? I prefer this one. Don't know why. So Mano is super good. Again, a Link hero. Okay. We are going to give 30% movement speed. What? Better than Luniare? Better than Luniare if you only intend to put 1 Luniare on that Victoria. Okay. And gives a base 300 defense. So caked in sustain. So who's this for, man? This is for people who need sustain, right? So let's look at his kit. Concentrates for 7 seconds. Oof. Woof, that takes for fucking ever. Granting 90% of attack. Look, only attack. Attack. Linked target converted to the base stats. Whoa, and heals for spell power. Okay. So you got a carry who's up close and personal in the enemy's face. This guy's pretty solid. Now, I would say before he's awakened, this 7 seconds really blows. That's a long freaking time to be standing around doing nothing. Oh, excuse me, I'm a moron. This is the spell cast. 45 mana, not bad. Ignore everything I just said, like in that little section. So now, what makes him good is all about the sustain. But he has a legacy specifically made for him, which makes him really good, though that legacy can be used to other Link heroes. We'll talk about that in a moment. But this is what makes him interesting. He has this right here. If the linked target has a higher tier than Mano at the beginning of battle, Mano instacasts. And it increases the attack delivery by 30%. Okay, so we're adding 120% of attack So that is extraordinarily powerful. So if your ocean set is stacked with attack power, you could potentially get Mano's attack power to 400 or 500 damage if you're like, the grindy grinder. And that's going to essentially give tier 1 Mano roughly 600 additional base attack to whomever you want. That makes Mano like massively strong. Okay, so that's super good. The only thing that kind of sucks about Mano is that if you oopsie daisy make your Mano stronger than your carry, it turns this off. So you need to be like a little bit more skillful and a little less mentally lazy when you use this guy. His other awakening removes crowd control from the target being healed by Oath. So, okay, so this is like situationally good. Situation is your carry is wandering forward into the blender of enemies. The blender of enemies stuns your carry or debuffs your carry. It takes him 3 hits, maybe 3 or 4 hits to build his MP. So while the carry is being CC'd, Mano's going attack, 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 and then it casts Prayer of Purification. It casts the Oath of Protection. On that 4th attack, because we're doing this, instead of insta-casting, we're doing this, when the Link hero attaches, it will clear all CCs. It doesn't make your hero CC immune. It's really kind of like in that first 4 seconds of the fight. Now, Mano has to stay alive, and Mano only has a range of 3. So your placement strategy for Mano needs to be pretty solid. I put him on the sides, and I might put like some beefcake within range of Mano, so that Mano isn't the first one targeted. So that's pretty damn strong. Now with Mano, you can only have 1. So situationally, pretty good. If you're raiding, you're doing this. If you're playing a hard CC game, you're doing this. But that's kind of what makes it. Mano is the highest attack booster in the game, and Mano has pretty much the best in terms of additional sustain. Built-in 300 defense, not including guard. Okay, built-in CC clear if you go that route. Additional movement speed. So, like if you have a melee character, Mano plus Victoria equals hearts. Okay, Mano and Victoria are best buds. Like 1 Mano is like putting 2 Lunaires on a Victoria in terms of like damage potential. So that's kind of what you have to think of it like in that specific scenario. Mano does not add spell, so all your spell heroes, no bueno. I'm not an expert in this legacy, but this legacy is kind of broken, and you need his Sacramentum. There's a photo of Mano here, like this. They were thinking of him. This is a lot. This is word salad, okay? And really, all these unique legacies, they are gonna force you to max your damn Transcendence to get the full value. But out of the box, with only 1 star, basically, designates the hero with the highest tier among allies, besides the user who received beneficial effect from the user. Okay? You ready for that word salad? Designates the hero with the highest tier among allies besides. So not your main. Not who Mano is and your Link hero is attached to. It's the other second most strong guy. And 6% of the higher stats between the user's attack and spell power is converted to the base hero stats. So if you're playing with Mask, I think this goes straight to that Mask hero. So that's kind of like a way for you to, if you max this out, you can essentially convert your Mask and push your Mask from 75% of illusion to higher. Okay. And I believe this stacks because it doesn't say it doesn't stack. So if you put this on a Luniare and you have 2 carries, and you just make tons of Lunaires, yeah, you can essentially boost one of those stats pretty high. So that's broken. In tier 2, you can, I think, like most of these uniques, they try to give you most of the kits to second tier. It adds to it. It basically will scale with guard. So if you're gonna build Ocean Set and you have guard, it'll scale all the stats based on that. And if you spend all the monies, it'll increase even further with guard based on guard. So it provides both attack and spell power at 6. Dude, this is broken. This is broken. I'm not going to go into it, but this is like the best thing you can put on your Link heroes if you have a team. If you're just focusing on one carry, then Rusty Sword. Rusty Sword, you throw Rusty Sword on this, on Mano, it boosts his attack, and Rusty Sword goes up to 80% additional damage. So your Mano with Rusty Sword on one carry is super strong. You don't need this. This is just like if you have a team and you want to make your second person just as good as your first. So that's Mano in a box, guys. Let's talk about Saeryung. So you're like, all right, dude. Why do I even need a Saeryung? Like these first 2 Link heroes are beyond brokenly, disgustingly good. Like, why would they even need to give us another Link hero? Like, I'm not excited about another Link hero. Well, you might be. Okay, so here's Saeryung. She doesn't have many skins, which is a shame. She's like a nun or a priest. We don't have any exciting Saeryung skins. We don't have like her holding like a chain gun or nothing cool like that. But her kit is probably one of the has the highest damage potential for a single unit, I think. And I could be wrong, but I think that's the case here. So let's go into it. She is a Link hero. She does it for 6 seconds. She gives both spell power. No, she does only spell power. Excuse me. To the linked hero converted into base stats. And she amplifies the linked target's skill damage by 25%. Okay? So she's kind of giving it, and this is going to sound, she's burning a candle in both ends. How about that? She's helping the back number, and she's helping the front number. So what I mean by that is, if she's powering up a hero, let's say who has 100 spell damage, and does 100% spell damage as her damage, right? She's essentially going to take 90% of her spell, give it to the hero, and when that hero goes to do their skill, it's going to increase the final damage of that skill by 25%. That is crazy strong. That is so freaking crazy strong. Okay, so if you are working on a character that you just want to really build their skill damage, and you don't want to build a bunch of Lunaires, and their skill damage is around spell power, then this is a great alternative because you don't have to. Yeah, 3 or 4 Lunaires will probably outdo this damage, but it would take like that many Lunaires. You don't have to build a lot of Lunaires now at this point. First spell person. Okay, so that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Now it gets better because restores 40 MP to the target of Inner Flame. Okay, so take a hero like Priya, who I think exists somewhere in my world, who has 120 MP. Okay, wow, I can essentially immediately almost restore her to by 1/4, or other heroes that have a little bit less. That's like crazy. Okay, we're gonna give MP. That's really good. I mean, there's like a million different situations where that's good. Belina, also really good. So, and then we have plus 80% attack speed to the target of Inner Flame. Okay, who's that good for? Well, Probably Mel, right? Adding attack speed to any hero that has to build MP. That's huge. Adding it to Mel, right? Giving Mel more attack speed to Windmill like crazy. That's like absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. So that's her kit without the awakenings. So I would say that out of all of the Link heroes that exist, as far as an unawakened Link hero, this has the highest damage potential. Because if you have an unawakened spellcaster and her unawakened, this is going to give you 90% spell, final damage plus 25%, increase the attack speed of your caster, and you're going to increase the MP. Okay? This is the best unawakened hero for damage potential because of what she does. Okay, so if you're a new player and you have 3 different Link heroes and you have a couple different carries, you can put her on a Kanak, and she's going to be pretty damn good. She's going to be unawakened will make Kanak good. Okay, now we're going to awaken her. Holy frijoles. Okay, if the MP cost of the Link target's hero is 60 or more at the beginning of battle, restores 100% of Saeryung's MP, and also restores MP of Inner Flame target by 35 every second. Essentially, it's going to immediately fill anybody's MP immediately. Okay, so if you awaken her, anybody with more than 60 MP, so her skill is 70. If you put a Saeryung on Mercil is the very first 0.1 second of the fight going to fire her ability. Your Dandelion, the very first 0.1 second of the fight, going to fire her ability. Your Priya, the very first 1 second of the fight, going to fire her ability. Your Mel, the very first 1 second of the fight, we're going straight into Holy Blade. You're not going to have to worry about Mel like punching 5 or 6 times to get Holy Blade going. She's just going to go right into Holy Blade. Okay, it's just extremely, extremely strong. It's strong because it happens immediately. And for some heroes and carries that are relying on attack damage to sustain them, it's just crazy. And you combine that with the attack speed, and you're storing MP with the level 4 too, guys. So that's the combination, because you're getting 40 here, and then you're giving 35 seconds, so it's 85 MP that you're just handing, plus more, I think. So that's incredibly strong, and that is for all of your spellcasters with a full that need MP. This 35 MP per second is better than Bargery out of the box. Bargery, you have to give a bunch like a bow, but Bargery does it to everybody. Saeryung does it to one person. So like, that's why people who talk about Link heroes, it's like situational. Okay, now we haven't talked about this yet. Uplift. Okay, So this hero, everybody has 2 awakenings. Her awakenings are both like phenomenal. Okay. Increase the Link duration of Inner Flame by 12 seconds. Okay, so we're at 6. It's going to bring it to 18 seconds. That's really good. And then we're going to do plus 12% of spell power and attack speed to the linked target whenever the linked target uses a skill. Guys. So we're going to increase by 120% attack speed and spell power. Alright? So I'm going to just scroll on over. I'm just going to scroll on over, and we're just going to look at somebody else real quick. This dude loves to cast spells. He casts them really fast. You can stack attack speed on him pretty easily. He has 45 MP. His curses do tick damage. His awakening spreads to other enemies. Okay. You put a Saeryung on that. I'm going to say MF. All right. You put a Saeryung on that guy. You're going to increase his attack speed by 120% and his spell power plus 120%. You're going to increase his attack speed by 80%. You're going to give him MP immediately because that's what happens. So this is almost one entire cast of Connect, okay? And you're going to pump 90% spell power in the back end of the number, and you're going to increase his damage, final damage, by 25%, and it's going to last 18 seconds. Yes. Yeah, that is, it's like end game strong. When I have a video of Connect doing 22 million damage to dummies. Without Saeryung, that would not be possible. So Saeryung, explosive potential. You put a Saeryung Echo on a Belina. My raid build Belina does about 30 million damage because Saeryung is essentially pumping MP into my Belina. Now, then you're going to go like, man, why do I ever need to do anything else ever? Well, because the other Link heroes also have similar potential. Just Saeryung's potential is the kind of like the most obvious. It's like big, good hero, do big, good number. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about Saeryung being higher or lower tier than your, like Mano. Mano, you have to deal with tier, like is Mano lower tier than your carry? Luniare, you have to worry about positioning. I don't even know. Luniare, you have to be in front of your carry, right? So there's like some like advanced stuff, not really that high advanced, but like Saeryung is a set and forget. Get Saeryung, put Saeryung on field, let Saeryung do Saeryung things. So I will say that I have lost many a supply to forgetting to switch her awakening, depending on who she's for. So if I'm doing a Belina build and I move Saeryung into my Belina build to power Belina, I'll forget to switch from uplift to Echo. Echo makes her a mana battery. And then like maybe a couple days later, I want to do a Connect build. Sometimes I'll forget to switch her from Echo to uplift because anybody under 45 MP doesn't really benefit as much from Echo. I mean, they sort of do. But you're not getting that insta-cast. Like, Uplift makes more sense for people with under 45 MP because they're going to be casting their skill themselves simply from their attack speed. They don't need to be powered as much. So, I obviously, with Saeryung, in my opinion, your best legacy is going to be the Apprentice Staff maxed out. This is a really easy thing to get. You can get this. Free-to-play players can get this. Putting this to max spell power, and then just giving as much spell power in her kit as you can. Now, obviously, I'm still noobs at this. Spell power, spell defense, physical defense is good, and guard's okay. I mean, Ocean Set kind of gives you the guard, but like she's not here to keep your guy alive. She is here to hand your carry. Your carry has 6 sticks of TNT. She's here to add like another 6 sticks of TNT. That's what she's here for. Okay. So that's how you kind of want to build her. And she's so good that I really haven't even needed to build her accessories. I should have her, maybe plus 100% spell power right here. That would be massive. That would increase her even more. But she's so good just without all this shit that this is just sprinkles, right? And so the last thing I'll talk about is like why is all the new content so damn hard? And it's because what One Piece wants you to do is stack relics, stack legacies, stack accessories, and take advantage of your Link hero on your carry. They're almost like building the content around that. So anybody who isn't utilizing the Link heroes, they're going to find themselves hitting the glass ceiling. And so this video is super important if you're new. You pretty much, it's mandatory. Every team, almost every team, has to have a Link hero, and a Link hero has to be accounted for in your build. So just, it's kind of how it is. Without them, you are missing out on 20 to 30% of your carry's damage potential at the very lowest. And that's in like Saeryung's case, it's probably more like 50% of the damage you're missing. In Lunaire's case, it's scalable indefinitely for as much silver as you can generate. So, yeah, for sure. Now, Link Heroes in Great Rift. If I were to rank them, I would say Saeryung is the most important Link hero in Great Rift. Mano would be the second most important Link hero in Great Rift. And I would pretty much bypass Luniare. If I have no choice, I'll take her. But it's the mana that you get in Great Rift has much more potential than like the little bit of attack speed you get. Like Luniare needs to have like 5 or 6 of her to be the best she can be. That's just my 2 cents. Now, that's where I'm at. In my experience, if you're playing Great Rift and you have to get a Link hero, this would be your priority for attack speed. She's good on everybody. If your carry is a physical attacker, then maybe not so good, but most carries are not. Mano would be second for sustain, and I pretty much will never play Luniare in Rift. That's just my 2 cents. Alright guys, I hope you found this video interesting, and I will see you in the next one.